Hi, I'm Phyllis from southernfrugal.com. Today we're going to make red velvet cake, and I'm going to make it in a sheet cake form. So the first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. I'm using an 11 by 16 little sheet cake pan, and I greased it first, then put wax paper in it, then grease the wax paper and up the sides, and then put a little light dusting of flour on it. I know you can't see the wax paper because you can just get the bubbles out, and that's so it'll come out much easier. Okay, so now we're ready to get started. Let me move that pan out of the way. So I'm using my KitchenAid mixer for the first time on a cake. I made whipped cream earlier this afternoon and it worked like a dream. So anyway, what we need is 1.5 cups of just granulated sugar. Put that in. And we also need 1/2 cup of Crisco. Now this is just regular shortening, but I prefer the Crisco. So there's no butter in this actual cake. That's 1/2 cup. Okay. Now, we also want to add 2 whole large eggs. I'm just going to dump it all right in. And we're going to cream all this together. I'm also going to go ahead and put in 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. I know that seems like a lot, but that's what the recipe calls for, 1 full tablespoon of vanilla extract. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in also. Okay, so now we're just going to cream all that together. I need to plug my mixer in. Yeah, I do. Okay, here we go. Now while that's creaming together, you'd want to get together 2 1/4 cups of regular cake flour. Now I'm making this for Christmas, so I'm trying to make it really special. So 2 1/4 cups, and you want to sift that with 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Now it's not baking powder, it's baking soda. And also 1 teaspoon of salt. Just sift those things together. Now on cake flour, I don't sift it before I measure it. I just sift it after I measure it. Alright, so we're going to turn this up just a little bit. Now, let that get really good and creamy. Alright, so while that's working, the next thing we're going to do is we've got 2 tablespoons of cocoa, and I use the Hershey's cocoa. You want plain cocoa now, no sugar in it. And to that we're going to add 2 ounces of red food coloring. Each one of these little bottles is 1 ounce. So you want to mix that with the cocoa. Just go ahead and dump the whole bottle out. In fact, I'm just going to take the lid off of it and dump the whole thing in. There's 1 ounce. I'm going to be careful not to drop this on anything because it will stain. It's not a permanent stain, but I already got it on my hands when I was opening little tabs on it. So I'm going to dump both 1 ounce bottles in with 2 tablespoons of cocoa. And we're just going to mix that up while my shortening and my eggs and sugar are creaming together. So we just boil out of the way. Now it's a little difficult to get this cocoa to mix in, so you have to just kind of keep stirring it. And we're also going to need 1 cup of whole buttermilk. And you want to use whole milk buttermilk if you can. If you can't find it, the other kind would be okay, I guess, but you actually want that fat in the cake. Alright, I'm going to finish mixing this up, and we're going to let the shortening and eggs and sugar continue to cream, and we'll be back. Alright, we're back. If you just let this sit for just a minute or so, it will eventually soak up, the red food coloring will soak up in that cocoa. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and add this to our mixture now, just very slowly. Sorry, I should have turned my mixer down. It got on my shirt, but no worry, it'll come right out because it's just food coloring. But anyway, I should have turned my mixer down a little slower. So I had it barely running. Alright, that should do it. Alright. Definitely got it on my counter. See, it definitely stains, but it'll come back up. Okay, so we've got that mixer together now. I'm going to cut it off and scrape down my sides. Just for a little quick second here to scrape everything up from the bottom too. Because we want all that dye or food coloring to get incorporated. Okay, now we're going to mix it some more. Yeah, this can be a little bit messy because that food coloring kind of gets on everything if you don't watch out, including your hands, arms, and with me, my clothes. Yeah. Alright, so here we go. Now we're going to continue creaming that. Y'all couldn't see, sorry. So I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. Okay, so now we're ready to start adding the flour and the 1 full cup of buttermilk. We're going to add these alternately with each other. Y'all see? Let me move you closer. There. Alright, so I'm just going to spoon, starting with flour. A couple of big spoonfuls in. After that's mixed a little bit, I'm going to add a little bit of buttermilk. Still got it on low. And we'll just keep doing that. 2 big heaping tablespoons at a time. Then a little more buttermilk. Alright, so I'm just going to keep on mixing the buttermilk and the flour in with the other mixture, and we'll be back. I wanted to move y'all over a little closer so you could see the batter. Now, once you've added the flour, you don't want to do a whole lot of mixing after that. We'll scrape these sides down. And now, the last ingredient we're going to add in is going to be 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Get that flour off there. And we're only going to just mix that in for just a short period of time. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and dump this 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar right in. that's it. That's all we need to do, and we're ready to put it in the pan now. And we're going to bake this, as I said, the oven has been preheating at 350 degrees. And we're probably going to bake this about 30 minutes, and then we're going to take a look at it and see if it's done. All right, let me take this off. See if I can get all that off there. Okay. Now we're ready to put this in the pan. Let me see if I can get this over. Let me move y'all back over there. Hold on. Okay, I moved y'all over to this side so you could see a little better. There's what the batter looks like. Can y'all see that? So we're just going to put that in this 11 by 16 inch pan. Yeah, I'm very happy with my KitchenAid. Very happy. Now, the food coloring, of course, will momentarily stain everything, but it comes right out. Okay, so we're going to just spread this out in the pan, and I do not, the reason I'm using this size pan is because I didn't want the cake to be a real thick cake, and then we're going to put a special icing on it. So I'm just spreading it out. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit y'all. Make sure it's up in the corners. Touching each side. All right, now what I like to do is just take a knife and kind of run it down there and make sure there are none of those great big bubbles in there. Just turn it back and go kind of at a diagonal little cut through there. Alright, that's got it. Alright, in about 30 minutes, this should be done at 350 degrees, so we'll be back then. Okay, I just took the red velvet cake out of the oven, and it cooked for exactly 28 minutes in my oven. You see it springs back. So now we're going to start on the icing, and this is a different icing. So first thing is we want to get our butter at room temperature, and that's 2 sticks of butter, which would be 1 cup of butter. I know that's a lot, but that's what the recipe calls for. Alright, so I'm going to turn my burner on. I've got 1 cup of whole milk, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. In this case, I just used the cake flour. And you want to just keep whisking that around, and we're just going to let that get thick and let all the little lumps that were in the flour get out of it. So you have to keep stirring it in order for it to not stick to the bottom. So I've got it on medium heat, and once this gets thickened, we'll be back. Okay, this took about 5 minutes to thicken. You don't want it to boil, you just want it to get thick. See how thick it is? Alright, so now we need to cool this. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get my butter. I went and set it in the oven with the door open. And the oven was off just to get it to soften up a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and put that in the little mixer. And then to that, we're going to add 1 cup of sugar, just regular granulated sugar. And we're going to add 1 tablespoon of just pure vanilla extract. I know, it's a tablespoon again. All right, I'm going to see if this mixer is going to break up that butter a little bit. Yeah, you broke it up some. All right, so we're going to leave this sitting until that butter softens a little more. And we'll set this down in a sink of cool water just to get it to go ahead and get cool. So we'll be back. Okay, I moved y'all over again. Now my butter is still not really soft. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and add my milk and flour mixture to the butter. It's just barely warm, but it will help to soften that butter a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that in. Now normally you would wait if your butter was softened, which mine is not, but it will be soon. Just going to get all that out of that pot. Yeah, it cools pretty fast if you just sit it down in the sink with a little bit of cold water. All right. Now let's see what it does now. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's working. Very nicely. I'll turn the speed up just a little bit. Okay, now we need to add the 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. I know that seems like a lot, but that's what the recipe calls for. 1 tablespoon. Okay, now we're going to mix again. Okay, so I can still see some little bits of butter in there, and we're just going to leave this sitting here for a while because my cake has definitely got to do some more cooling. And anyway, then we'll beat this a little more after a while once my cake is cool. All right, we'll be back. Okay, we're back and the cake has cooled and everything's pretty much gotten to room temperature. We're going to add 1 cup of confectionery sugar to this icing. There we go. Okay, now we're just going to start it out on low. Okay, we're just going to keep running until it gets to the right consistency. We'll be back. Okay, we had to add another whole cup of the confectionery sugar. So that's a grand total of 2 cups added to the other ingredients. So we're ready to put this on the cake now. Just going to plop it on there. By the way, I'm really loving the way this Vitamix is working. It worked really well. All right. And we're just going to spread this out. Really thick and nice, very buttery. And you will want to keep this cake in the refrigerator. Now what I'm going to do, of course, is freeze it, cut it in little squares, and then I'll be freezing it for Christmas. All right, and there you have it. There it is. All right, we will see y'all next time. I will go ahead and cut a piece of this, so hold on. Okay, here's what it looks like. I turned my light on the camera so you could see. Yeah, the icing just has a tremendous amount of butter in it. And you could make just buttercream icing if you wanted to, but I love this. It's delicious. There it is. All right, we will see y'all next time. I decided I need to come back and show you how we really eat it. This is Mr. Bucky's piece. I put it in the microwave for about 5 seconds. The icing runs, and you can just kind of dip the cake in the icing. It is so good. All right, we will see y'all next time.